Hello everyone. Welcome. Thank you for being there. Nice to have you here. Let me see. I think I have the cameras way too low. I think my face is out of the frame. I think, innit? Yeah, there you go. I'm in the frame now. I'm in the frame. I thought I was out of the frame. There you go. How's it going, everyone? Thank you for being there. Thank you for joining us. Let me see. Oh, my thermos was way in. Oh my god. The cable's getting All right, yeah. Okay, here I am. Thank you for being there. Thank you for joining me. We have a great live stream today. We're gonna do some stuff. We're gonna have some fun. Say hello there in the chat. I said say hello, and there was Misile saying hello. How's it going, mate? Thank you for joining us. By the way, I saw you sent a message. I haven't answered yet because I haven't had time to watch the video, but I'm gonna watch it. I saw you did something there. I wanna go look at it later. But yeah, I've been using Discord on the phone, and it's absolutely terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Oh my god. Just I don't know. Maybe it's my phone. I don't know. I have a pretty fucking old phone, but hey. But yes. So today, what are we doing? Asked me Soleil. Well, yeah. I just wanted to show the game I made. At least a working game. Nice. Yeah, we want to play it. But by the way, also right, we need to play the game. What are we doing today? Well, we're gonna be doing no code. And when I say no code, I mean we're going to be actually working on our on the no code system. So here's the plan. Okay, I just want to plot it out for you. So here it is. The idea behind the whole no-code system for Rogue Engine is that you will be able to use Rogue Engine without writing any code. You will need to know some concepts, obviously, and it will absolutely have a learning curve, and some things are going to be hard to do. But the idea behind it is that you will be able to do the same things or similar things or most stuff that you can do with code without writing any code. So that's the idea mostly. So my target audience here, to make it as extreme as possible, has been my wife. And I've been and my wife, just as a background, my wife, she's a Spanish teacher. She's terrible at math. She has never written a line of code in her life, obviously, because she's not just what she does, and yeah, so she has no idea what to do if I give her Rogue Engine, right? So I've been sort of using her insights to see how I would go about building this thing. So she's been sort of my test subject. And the idea behind it is that I'm going to use my wife as a test subject to do to get her to make a game, a very simple game, right? So today I want to try to make sure that she can make the game that I'm thinking that she would make, right, with the new system when it's out. So yeah, that's what we're going to try to do today. We're going to figure out we have the enough actions, how hard it is to actually make, how simple it is. Well, we don't know. And I think it will be quite simple. I think we're already in a place where we can do it 100%, and it should be super simple. But I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really cool. And yeah, so because the goal is, if my wife is able to sit down and make a game with this, and then, she can, adding the AI assistant, she can make better things even, creating her own actions and things, and creating the components themselves even, because the AI assistant will be able to do that. it's then we're in a good place. We're in a good place because it can fill the as I always say, right? It's not supposed to replace your work. It's supposed to help you fill the gaps of knowledge that you have, or to help you get better at something, right? Because you learn, oh, this is how you do this, right? That's what it's supposed to do. It's not supposed to replace what you do, right? And it's not always everything it does is going to be a good solution, but it may give you an idea what a good solution looks like, and then you can sort of iterate through it, because it's easier to iterate than with a blob of code that you don't know what it's doing. So yeah, we're gonna go in. We're gonna look into it. We're gonna try to make this thing do something interesting. And yeah, let's have a go. Let's have a go. All right, just leave a like, subscribe, and if you follow on Twitch and all that, because it really helps. And yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. So I'm gonna be sharing the screen. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, there you go. There it is. Okay. But first of all, yeah, I want to show you this thing I made here. Yeah, I want to show. I want to show you this little example I built. This is something I built that I showed my wife, like one of the exercises I did for the say to test a bunch of the things that we need for our yeah, to make to make this work. I mean, it's just leave it at that. Now the thing is, what we want here is to have a third-person controller. I'm just trying to make sure that this thing can achieve great stuff. So one of the really hard things to do, I think, is make a good third-person controller, like a good follow camera, around with the third-person controller. It's kind of hard. You have to do a lot of vector math here and there. You have to, sort of make sure the camera orbits around you, and then you run in the flat direction of the camera. So lots of these little things that are into actions that you will be able to use, right? So that's the idea. I did this so that I would add all the vector actions that I was missing. So at least the most essential ones. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing like a little exercise, and as I do that exercise, I build the actions that I need for that exercise. So every missing action comes from things that I built, right? So I'm building this. I realize I need this action. I put it in, I add it up. And so every time I see, okay, I'm missing something, it's in. That's the goal of this. And I want to show you how it works. Okay, so here it is. We just play this, and here we have our little bird there. We can move our mouse. We can only look so far down and so far up. We have polar limits, minimum and maximum polar angle. And yeah, we can move around. It's smooth. I've set it to very slowly move, because I also tried, what if I want to move only when you're aligned with the position you're going to? So I made it very slowly moving to see that I could actually achieve that, that it would work. It would not be tricking me. So you can see that I'm pressing W now, right? Unless it's aligned, sort of aligned at least. I have a little number there I can tweak to make that, it'll start moving as soon as it hits like 0.8 in precision, I think. You can make it 1, and it will go just 1 when it's very aligned with the direction. But yeah, that's the idea, is that you can only move in the direction with WASD, right? And it follows the mouse like that. So it's a third-person control, a regular third-person controller you would play with any game. And you can make this without code now. This is totally doable without code now, which I think is fantastic, because this is one of those things that are pretty hard to make. And yeah, you can go here and find your little there you go. There you go. So it's the walkie bird again. It's actually kind of flying, right? Because it's we're in the middle of the sky or something. I think, I don't know. Are we in the sky? I don't see any floor here. So it's pseudo space bird. I don't know. I know what the bird is actually. I really don't know what the bird is. So yeah, let me show you. First of all, well, let me show you the component this produces here, right? So we'll select it, and you can see the player controller here. We're talking obviously about a bird that has a rapier body, that has a glider, that has all that, right? So it's a dynamic body that it has in, with 0 gravity scale, so that, you know, it doesn't fall. We don't want the bird to be, you know, we want it to be in the same direction, in the same height always, you know, just keep it 0 there. Don't move. And and we're simply moving the stupid bird. We're simply moving it. There you go. You see, so we have speed, camera speed, camera distance, camera height, which is the actual height of the camera itself. Then the camera focal height, because it's, I initially call it focal point, but it's not really a focal point. It's a focal height, right? Because it's how much up you want to, you know, it's, if the cameras, you know, have the point, you have the camera here, and the camera goes up, and then how high will it look at? You know, you will look at, you know, at the target. So here's the point at the bottom of the target, the 000 of the target. Let's move that up a little bit and see where it's actually looking at the target. And then the minimum polar angle, right? So how much it will rotate around the x-axis of the how much it will orbit around the x-axis, basically. So yeah, that's set there. And yeah, it requires the body, the rapier body of this little bird here, because we want to move it. And then we have, yeah, the 2 fields here. They're not inspected or anything. It's just the horizontal axis and vertical axis that we will be moving around with the vectors that we get, with the axis that we get from the input. So that's all it is, really, right? It's how we're moving, you know, the horizontal axis and the vertical axis. You know, I like to think of them as handles, you know, because it kind of feels like that. It feels like you're moving, you know, one handle here and one handle here, sort of like that. I like to think of it that way, at least. And yeah, and so we have, first of all, here I added the lock pointer. So you see how the mouse goes away, the mouse disappears. It's because we have a lock pointer added, lock pointer. Let me show you the lock pointer. Yeah, the pointer lock, lock pointer, basically. Pointer lock. Yeah, lock pointer it's called. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, as you can see, this is a copy paste. And yeah, I haven't added all the descriptions. Yeah, I need to add all the stupid descriptions later. Right? I just copy pasted a bunch of them, like bam, 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 keep adding them. And yeah, it just does this. You see, this is such a simple action. It's so simple to add them, so simple to create them, and then so simple to use them. Right? Just create this way. And then, well, I added the search. I enabled the search, like simple search, because I rebuilt the mechanism, so I can show you now. You know, it's add after the lock. You see the pointer lock there. You just select it, and it adds it. You know, and let's just remove it. But yeah, so we have search now. That makes our life so much easier now. All right, so we have the on collision start here. So we collide when we collide with our this thing. I'm going to change it right now. On collision start, where is it? On collision start. On collision start. Let's change this thing. Why is it vector object? There you go. Object and all the. There you go. So that will work. There you go. Now it says object there. You see. So now the label says object instead of vector. And you see how easy it is, right? It's very stupidly simple, right? And you can build this yourself, right? We're talking about actions. These are individual actions that you can just write, right? And you can just build a whole bunch of them to use yourself for specific things that you need, specific needs that you have, or because, I don't know, you want to, I don't know, sell a package or something. I don't know. You know, I want to build a package of actions or something for a specific thing. You build a library like downbar rents library to do terrains, do those things. You can build a bunch of actions for it to help people use it without to use it modularly outside of the components, things like that. I think that's interesting. And yeah, so there you go with that. And yeah, what else? Oh, there you go. Let's keep going. So we have on collision start with the local object here, right? I changed it. It said container object before, but I actually put local here because if there are any other local things like a local name or things like that, I would like to have that. I'm not sure yet how to call this. I added it as an action to have kind of the little to be able to give you also the chance to have them the same way. What I mean is, I don't want it to be a different thing that is not outside of the scope of what you can build, right? I don't want to build these custom things that are outside of the framework for you, right? You can override this. That's what I mean, right? This is something that it's part of building blocks that you are able to use. So I find that it's sort of a system building itself, right? It's me building a system, and then I build a system with the things that you are going to be using. I find that absolutely fascinating. So that's why I think about it that way. And yeah. I don't know. I know maybe it's a bit stupid, but I don't know. So yeah, this little block here on collision start, it gives you an object 3D order to use, and yeah, you can use it. You see, you just click there and you have it there to use. Yeah, just remove it. Object 3, remove order. This will just give you object 3Ds or things that can give you object 3Ds. Variable, I should probably disable it here, but yeah, this is why. I mean, you can use variable there, but it's just not gonna work. Okay. It's gonna work, but it's gonna be kind of stupid, right? Why would you have a variable there, set a variable inside the thing? It's just inefficient. All right. So then we have in the update, we're just doing the move and the set view. So we're doing all the move stuff and setting the camera, basically, right? So we're gonna look at a set view now. We have Missile is saying, looks so easy until I try it. Well, honestly, like it should be very simple to use, mate. I think you're going to be able to use it easily. Mostly because if you well, that's the thing, right? You are also my test subjects for this, right? Everyone is using this. So when you use this, if you have any concerns, this is hard for me to do. I don't understand this part or that part. That gives me an idea where I need to put more effort in. Part of building this thing is because many people come in and say, well, I'm a designer. I don't know how to code. So, how can I do this without writing in code? Well, this is a response to that. And because I believe that Node does know that it's things, they're disgusting. So I think this is a better solution than a bunch of nodes and cables and things going on. I think it's disgusting. I like a Scratch-like approach way more. And this is sort of a Scratch-like approach, but for a game engine. And I think this is a lot less threatening than code for most people. So yeah, let's look at the set view. So what is a set view function doing? This is just a function, right? It's a method. So we say, okay, call method, set view, right? You get the methods that you can call, the move, the set view. There you go. So there's two methods that we have, right? Set view and move, right? Yeah, so first thing we do is we get the axis for look. We can get the look and move, and here we're getting the ones for look, and it's look X and look Y. I just renamed them, obviously, because it was just X and Y, their names. And then we set two variables, one for the vertical rotation and one for the horizontal rotation. And what we do is we multiply the the x-axis that we're getting from the input, right? And we multiply by minus the speed by delta time, so that we get the speed at a frame rate correct, frame rate safe rotation speed. As always, always if you're going to do something and you need to happen, in 10 seconds, in 1 second, you want to be from here to here, you need to add delta time, because otherwise, if you're 30 frames or 60 frames, that's going to generate a different sort of movement. So, 30 frames is going to generate half the movement. So you add delta time, and now 30 frames and 60 frames, same movement in the same time. That's why you add that. This is the amount of time it takes for one frame to complete. Well, the amount of time it took for the last frame to complete. That's basically it. So, okay, so then the set field, basically here we're calling it to set our H rotation, right? Our this field that we have here, right? You can get any field you want here, right? All the fields in your scene. Oh, this should be here. This shouldn't be here. Oh, this is bad. This shouldn't be here. Okay, we have a problem here with the search menu. I'm gonna make a mental note here. I need to remove those. This shouldn't be there. But yeah, basically H rot, V rot, we're just setting them. We're just adding them up, adding the current horizontal rotation to what we have right now here in the field. So we're just adding, that's it, to our field. And then we're comparing. Okay, if the horizontal rotation is smaller than the minimum polar angle, right, and we need to turn it into radians, because that's what rotations are made in, right? That's how THREE.JS uses rotations. It doesn't use angles, it uses radians. So we need to transform the degrees into radians. So we have this little function, it's just this little action to transform degrees to radians. So we do deg to rad, min polar angle, right? That's it, This is just something you add, right? Just come here and do add after, just deg to rad, right? And just add this, and you just say, min polar angle, min polar angle. There you go. Just add this. This is the thing you want to transform, right? But yeah, you don't want to do that here. It's gonna break it. But yeah, if I remove this, right, it's just to show you how it works, right? How I would add this now, right? Just do deg to rad, like this, and say, okay, minimum polar angle. To show you that this is simple, right? This is how you write these things. And horizontal rotation smaller than minimum polar angle. Then we set that to the minimum polar angle. Say the H rotation to the minimum polar angle. Then if it's greater, if it's greater than the maximum polar angle, we make it the same as the maximum polar angle. That's it. So there it is. And here comes the interesting part, okay? Because this is a whole vector math shit, right? The whole complicated thing about vector math. That's what we're going to get into now. Mr. Lay says, it's more like I just need to get used to with the new available workflow for the engine. Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, but I think it's going to be a lot easier now for everybody. It's not just, well, you're still going to be able to use the engine the same way you used it before. The idea is that this is just an addition, so that things that were harder before will be easier now. And if there's something you don't know how to do, well, there's probably an easier way to do it with just this sort of scripting, with visual scripting. But yeah. What we're going to do now is we're going to orbit around our target, right? So we're moving the mouse, right? And we're going to move the camera around the amount that we move the mouse, and we need to move it orbiting the target. So what we do is, first of all, we reset our rotation for the camera, right? So reset rotation camera 0, 0, 0. Easy, right? And then we move, we copy the position of a local object to the camera, right? So our camera goes into the local object, right? So same position. We superpose them. And now we move the object to the focal point, to the point that we want to move it, right? So down here, we translate Y, right? We translate Y, the local object, that this object that has this component, to the focal height, just a bit, you know, in this case, we have the focal height at 3. So we're just going to move it 3, right? And then what we do is we translate the camera's position. Remember that we superposed them. Now we separated them, right? We separated the object itself. Then we move the camera, right? The rendering camera, we pull it up to the height that we want it to be, which in this case is 13. If you see it down there on the lower right, and you can see that we put it here, right? So then what we do is we rotate it, right? We rotate in the y-axis, right? So we rotate it whatever we moved the mouse, you know, and then we rotate it on the y-axis, we rotate on the x-axis, whatever we rotate it to. Imagine something like this, and then what we do is we translate the camera to the camera distance, right? So this, right? And then we rotate the camera itself. We rotate the x-axis of the camera to minus the rotation that we used before, right? Because now we want to reset it, right? Because we want to look at the object, right? We want to look at the object, right? So we look at the object directly, and then we translate back the object from the focal point below. So we looked at the object in the focal point, and now we move it back. You see? So it's kind of a trick, you know. We're doing this. We're moving here, rotating, and pulling back. So you see, move it here, rotate, pull back. So that way, it's sort of like instead of doing some complicated math, you know, this is the math that you would do if you were doing like vector math, just to do this, right? But you're just doing it in a practical way. You're just doing it, you know, like in a more, say, I don't know, in a practical. It's just a practical way to do vector math, I guess. You see most people doing it this way with pivots everywhere. So you see how you can do this easily here now. You know, you just do, you know, copy position, move it wherever you want, pull it back, you know, copy position, rotate it, move it back. Copy position, rotate it, move it back. This is what it's doing every frame when you move the mouse. It's just copying the position, rotating, moving back, you know, because that way you're always moving. Your rotation is always in accordance to the object's rotation, to the, you know, so you're always focusing on that object, right? And you're always looking at that object as well. And this prevents us, this helps us avoid having a handle on the camera. This is why I separate the camera from the handle here. We don't need the handle anymore, which was the idea for me. It was, can I do this without the handle? That was a challenge. And it was simple. I just needed to handle the X rotation here. And it just worked. I just go, you know, rotate whatever I want and then look at the target, you know, rotate back and look at the target. You know, so, and that worked just perfect. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Very happy with that. And this is beautiful. This is absolutely gorgeous. So yes, we can remove this. We can safely remove that. Proudly remove that. And now what did I do here? Oh yeah, I showed you how I moved back from the focal point. Yeah, I showed you everything. So yeah, that's fairly simple, right? It's just how you do vector math in a game, and it's all possible now without writing any code. So you don't need to. It was easy previously, right? It's simple. It's kind of simple to do this when you know what you're doing with code. But now it's a lot less threatening, right? Now, if I can give you these instructions and you can kind of write them down. If you don't know how to code, you can write this. You can just add an action here. You know, you just say, okay, look at, you know, just things like that. I don't know. You're probably not going to write this because you have a third-person controller available. But if you need a custom thing, if you need something custom to do, you know, kind of thing, you can build it yourself, or someone can help you out build it in a far easier way. You know, someone can give you a configurator that works, and you can see how it works. here's the thing, right? Maybe an AI agent writes this for you, and you can sit down and read it and see what it's doing. Oh, this is what it's doing. Okay, I understand now. And you're not reading a bunch of code in a language that you don't understand. It's just telling you what it's doing. Center rotation of the camera, copying the position of from the local object to the camera, and this is something you can write easily. That's the idea. I know I'm trying to justify all this time I'm taking to build this shit, but it's what it takes. It's what it takes, and it's what I need to do. I'm 100% that this is going to be a great way to use Rogue Engine. Okay, so yeah. Then the move is simply, simply getting the move axis. Same thing we're doing with the look axis, right, up here. We're just getting the move axis. And then we have the flat camera direction. So what does the flat camera direction do? Well, it takes the direction and it returns it flat from the camera perspective. So say the camera, let me show you this way, right? So here, if we're looking down here, we know forward is right there. Well, let me make it faster because it's going to be simpler. Yeah, we just need to edit this. Let's make it 0.3, something like that. Yeah, 0.7 is fine, yeah. Okay. So if we're looking from here, right, we're horizontal, we're aligned with the object, right? I move back. So we're moving forward here, right? So it just goes forward in that direction. But also, if we look at the option like this, right, we're still moving forward when we press W. And we press S, we're moving back. And we press left, we're moving to the left. And we press D, we're moving to the right. And if we move around, right, we're still moving in those directions, right? And regardless of where the camera is pointing at. So we have that direction that we need, right? We have the initial direction, but we need to flatten it because we need the camera to tell us where forward is, regardless of the inclination, right? And regardless of where we're looking at. So we know that forward is that way, right? Forward is that way. But the camera thinks of forward. If we look at the direction of the camera is forward is where the bird is, right? So it's in direction of the bird. So the bird would be, showing us its arse right there. And we don't want that. We want the bird to just turn right on itself and go forward as if the camera was like this. So that's what flattening does. And I hope I made that clear because I'm not sure I was good at explaining that. I am not sure, please, if that was such a bad explanation, please let me know. I'll try to explain it again. But hey, so flat camera direction, what we do is simply we have the X, Y, Z thing here. We set the X for our movement. This is why we don't need it. We just use the Z here. And for the Y, as always, because we're moving forward and to the sides, right? And forward is forward, backwards is Z, and X is to the sides, right? It just returns the flat direction. That's it. So we look at with the body, right? We use a rapier look at direction, right? Which is simply a look at direction action for a rapier, right? It takes a body and it looks at direction that we give it, right? We can just add any vector 3 here. In this case, we're using this vector 3, this flag direction, and it lets us set a smooth step, right? So we can make it snappy, or we can make it, smooth like this. In this case, we have 0.3, so it's should probably multiply this by delta time. I don't know. If we want to make it snappy, just put 1. It's gonna be snappy, and then what we do is, so this is simply looking at that direction, right? So it's making our body look in the direction in the flat direction. That's what it's doing. That's when it's rotating smoothly there. And then it takes it checks where is it looking, is the object 3D looking in the direction of the flat, looking in the flat direction, right? So it's our local object looking in the flat direction. That's clear, right? It's very semantic. Look, object 3 looking at direction, local object into flat direction. Very simple. And it asks for a precision number, right? Like I asked, okay, what's the minimum amount it should be? I don't know if the minimum is right. I've been thinking about this, how to call this thing. As always, naming shit is hard. It's fucking hard. Oh, so yeah, I don't know how to name this. Probably minimum, probably factor. I don't know what the fuck to call it. But yeah, precision. I think it could be called precision. But in this case, 0.7. If we put something like 0.9, for instance, it's going to be a lot. It's going to require us to be very much in that direction. So if we do, again, 0.05, something like that, to make it very, very snappy like that. It's just, it needs to be very much aligned to start moving. Otherwise it will not start moving. So it needs to be there. You see. So when it's a 90%, it'll start moving, something like that, right? This is simply doing the dot product, right? It's just getting the dot product of our it's checking if the dot product is this. This is just the dot product. If you know what vector math, you know what dot product is. It's just basically just to look if two vectors are looking in the same direction, basically. Then we move the body, right? We use the rapier move the body in the flat direction at a certain speed. And this is frame safe. So it's just do flat direction speed and that's it. That's just going to move the object in that speed, move the body in that speed, at that speed in that direction. I think this is fairly simple to do, right? Because I don't know. I explained this to my wife. She's terrible at math and she was able to understand this. So I was like, okay, I'm happy with this. That was like, I think she had more trouble understanding like this part, the delta time thing. But after she understood this thing, it was easier for her to understand the rest. Like she got in the kind of in the loop of what was going on. This part was also confusing, like degrees to radians, because like what radians, degrees? What's that? It's like it's been a long time doing any sort of math for her. She's a Spanish teacher. So it's not it's not within the things she ever uses. So that was kind of confusing for her first, but then sort of seeing it working and seeing what needs to be done to make that work and explaining it sort of physically, showing her what's actually happening. It was very simple for her to, it was very simple. It was a lot easier for her to understand what was going on and finally be able to, walk out saying, yeah, I know, okay, I understand, which is what I wanted ultimately. But yeah, let me see. Oh, we have dumbbell rain in the room. We have Mislade saying a clever solution. Thanks, mate. Yeah, I hope it's it's not my solution. It's I think it's how everyone does it mostly, or most people do it. I think most people do it that way. Probably not. Probably not everyone. I don't know. I think some people may use pure vector math. But I don't know. Like a vector formula there. Dumbbell Ren there saying this system is good for 85% of cases. Although specific mechanics will be code generated like terrain or so. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This will not cover like everything at all. But the idea is that, well, if you want to do like a terrain, you could do a terrain generation action that does, specific parts of the terrain generation. You can add them like, say, a modify mesh thing and add a couple of factors there. And the more actions we add to the package, the more things we can have. Like the wider library of actions that you have, the wider amount of things you can do with this, because potentially you could do absolutely everything you do with Rogue Engine, you could do it with this system. But we need the actions to be there, right? We need to create the actions. So that's the work I'm doing now, is not just working on the editor, but also working on the actions that we need, so that, you know, we have we can have everything. And then this is, although with custom libs, probably even hard mechanics could be made with it. You were thinking it's exactly like me. That's where we're going. I think that's what we need to focus on, is having a good library, good amount of actions that we can use for every sort of thing, like for all kinds of but that's the thing, right? If you don't need the action, it shouldn't be there in your code. It shouldn't be around in your here to select, right? If you're not using it, if it's not something, if you don't have like a terrain generator package, you shouldn't be able to do this and find, terrain thing, because it's just going to add more shit to your list of things that you have. Why? Because you don't need it. So the least amount of things you have here, that we need the minimum amount of things that are going to be included with the engine, and then everything else will be part of each library. So Rapier is going to have its own stuff. You're not going to have the Rapier actions unless you install Rapier in your project. So you install Rapier, and you have all the Rapier actions. You install, terrain generator or something, or you install whatever thing, and you're gonna have all the actions for that. I think that's the idea. I think that's what actually will make this more usable in general, is not just having a wide variety of actions, not really wide variety of actions, but the actions that you need for specific things. So you download the library of actions. Maybe you can have a third person thing, or a first person shooter. We have the first person shooter package, for instance, right? The premium one, and we could give that a bunch of actions that are about first person shooter. Shoot. Like a shoot action or things like that, I don't know, anything really. All kinds of action to interact with the components that you have in place in that specific package, right? There's the grid builder thing that I built as well. I need to work on that more. With this, it's going to be much easier to work on that now. To be able to also add things for, in-game stuff. I think that will be so cool, so much cooler than what we have now even. Dunbar ran there. Actions to spawn mesh. Actions to apply noise to the mesh. From custom lib. Yeah, absolutely. Something like that. Brilliant. Like apply noise, spawn mesh. Absolutely. Even, well, we have the instantiate now, which is similar, of course, but we could have the we could have a bunch of others. Absolutely. Ray casting, all kinds of things, all kinds of action. Most important, so it won't be bloated with visual stuff. 100%. Yeah. Mostly think that whoever's using this, right, it's would be overwhelmed by more information, right? So unless you are like well versed in everything, and everything you have around you makes sense, sometimes having less stuff around you makes, it's better. It's just you have less to choose from, and you just use whatever you have around you. It's easier to choose something, right? It's easy to know what you need. Ninch Copeland is here. How's it going, mate? Thanks for coming. When did visual components happen? Well, this is new. This is very, very new. It is going to be part of 1.0. I'm working on it, and I've been showcasing it in the past live streams. Mostly been building it around every yeah, every live stream I've been showing him, building it around the ideas that I had and things that I've been thinking about, things that I've been asked, like, please build some kind of way to, do visual scripting. And yeah, this is an idea I had for a long time, and I've been working on it for a while. This thing right here was actually delaying the release of Rogue Engine 1.0, because I do not want to release 1.0 without this, at least with a minimum alpha version of this, right? I think this is the thing for Rogue Engine 1.0. This paired with an AI assistant that will help you build these things, because I think here's the thing. Here's the thought around the frame of thought that I have around this. I built previously an AI assistant that was able to create components for you, like actually write some code for you. The problem is that if you're using that AI assistant, it's only useful if you kind of know what the code is doing, because sometimes the code will not work, or it may have some issues. So being able to know what's going on would actually give you, would actually make it useful. Otherwise, you would find yourself in trouble many times. And the best way I found to solve that was to create a configurator for components, so that the AI assistant would actually just create the configuration for you, right? This is just a configurator. This is just a JSON that is being read, and that's what's going to actually create your components, right? So the AI has so many actions it can use, and it knows what each of them do, and that's what it uses to compute a solution for you. And it's not really writing code. It has no syntax or weird things. It's just a configurator with a certain, it has certain syntax, right? It's a configurator, but there's no code or much stuff like that it needs to do. There's some math, but there's no so much of that. It doesn't have a freedom of action with JavaScript. And then if you need a specific action for something, if the configuration, if something's wrong, okay, this is not working, you can just come here and remove it. It's not like you have to, or change it, oh no, I don't want the camera to move here. Maybe I just want the object to move. This is wrong, this number is wrong here. You just change it. It's not like going into a piece of code and changing it, which is way more threatening for someone who doesn't know how to code. Or for anyone who's not familiar with coding, just touching a file full of code, it's very threatening. It's very intimidating. So this is not intimidating. This is, at least it's a lot less intimidating than code. So it's just click, move things around, okay, let's put this here, let's move this up here, it's a bunch of blocks, Scratch, it's like Scratch. That's the idea behind it. You have math expressions, and you have Boolean expressions and things like that. The more complex things, but in general, you'll have a bunch of actions that will make life a lot easier. And I'm basically using my wife as a test subject. So the idea is that I'm basically showing this thing that I built, and I showed my wife. She understood it, so just want to show it to you. And the next thing I want to do is I want to build the game that I'm going to ask my wife to build, and to see if we have all the actions that we need and everything we need. I think we have everything we need, but we should probably just make sure that we have everything. Let's just make sure that there's all there, because I would like for this to be a smooth experience for my wife, and not an absolute nightmare. It's definitely going to be hard for her, but I'm sorry, just making sure all is good. So it's certainly going to be a challenge for her, but this should be challenging, right? It's not going to be 100% easy for anyone. but it's going to be a lot easier, and it's going to bring in, it's going to break down the coding barrier of Rogue Engine. And yeah, also these actions themselves can be easily written by an AI. Think this is an action, right? This is an action, for instance, that applies an impulse, right? So you can ask an AI to write this for you, and this is going to be a lot simpler for an AI to write than, you know, a whole bunch of code. So you have all the building blocks, you can add them in your code. That's the kind of thing I'm thinking about. That's the kind of thing that goes around this. Oh, nice. They're saying, yeah, I have a friend trying to do a Unity game with Gemini AI, and he keeps fucking stuff up. Yeah, absolutely. That's yeah. Thing is, she has done code before. She uses Unity and Adventure Creator. Looks cool, mate. Thanks, mate. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think the idea behind this is not to. The frame of thought is you should not. The idea is not to replace you as a coder. It's not to replace code, but to use code coupled with AI assistant and configurators, so that the AI is actually just writing configurations and writing little actions that you can use, and not just say make game and just make game. You know, make 3D third-person controller. You know, it's just no. You know, it's okay. Well, you ask the AI maybe, okay, how can we make this? You know, maybe you have that's why I'm thinking of adding like a little chat or something. And that's the part that I'm also with the assistant kind of struggling there with the UX. If we should have like a little chat there where you can sort of ask for advice and things, and kind of helps you out where to go, what to do. Okay, here's an action you can add, you know, and here's the action, and it can help you out. You know, you just add it this way into your little component there, or it says, okay, there's a bunch of actions and a component that you can add to your game. It just adds it. Yeah, I think that would be quite interesting to see, but I don't know. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna need your feedback, of course. Everyone's feedback is gonna be very much welcome, and I'm very much gonna need it. So yeah. Hopefully we can get this turning into. My goal is for this to turn into my way of using Rogue Engine as well. If I can make the things I want with Rogue Engine with this, I'm going to be massively happy. And also, I'm kind of seeing it. I mean, I was able to build this third-person controller, you know, very easily in a way. You know, it wasn't hard at all. So. It was tricky because I had to make the actions, right? But after I made the actions and I had every action that I needed, it actually proved to be quite easy. So I'm very happy with it. I'm very, very happy with it. And yeah, I think people in general are going to be happy with this. That's at least my, I don't know, what I think about it, my 2 cents about it. My 2 pennies. Yeah, I don't know. We're getting late, so I'm going to. Yeah. By the way, I changed the chair. I got a new chair. I don't know if you remember the other chair. It was falling apart. Now this new chair, you know, it's alive. This one's actually working. So yeah, I was being criticized. Some people wrote to me. Saying, hey, you kind of, that chair is looking terrible. It was so, yeah. It's actually falling apart. It looks so disgusting. Now it doesn't. Now it's, you know, it's just me here looking disgusting. So it's not the chair. So you just have me to blame, not the chair. Just leave the chair alone. So all right. Let's get this thing going. So we're just going to use this little bird. I'm going to explain to you, at least I want to explain what the game is. Okay, what the game we're going to do is. So imagine the same thing, right? But we only move with A and D, left to right. And we're gonna have this little white balls falling. That's it, you know. Probably in the game itself, like my wife's gonna do, probably gonna have some kind of assets, like some coins or something like that, or eggs. I don't know, or something else. I don't know what is, if it's gonna be this bird or something else. I'm gonna give us some assets to choose from. But the idea is, okay, you move around. You know, you just move like this, and you have to pick up the things that fall down, and you have this so many lives until you die. You know, so many things that can actually fall down, go below you before you die. So that's the idea. That's what I'm thinking about. So the idea is to test, well, what I want is to test that idea and to see if it's viable, to see if it's fun, to see if it's actually something you will be able to do. We'll be using no code, of course, this no code system, and this, well, visual scripting, let's call it, because it's not really no code. It's visual scripting. It's kind of tricky to call it no code, but yeah, we'll use the visual scripting, and we will use the HTML UI thing we have now, right? Which is kind of cool, isn't it? It's kind of cool to have the UI system now, isn't it? Why do I have this Object 3D there? Okay, just dead Object 3D in the scene, just there, you know, standing alone, nothing to do. All right, so okay, that's the idea. Let's create a scene with this. Just let's save this as. Let's use save scene as. Let's call this. We'll call this falling eggs. Okay, falling eggs, because this sort of the, imagine that these are eggs. Just imagine that these are eggs, and we have a bird, and the bird's catching eggs that are falling down. Maybe we can say that sometimes it's not eggs, sometimes a bomb, and it's kind of hard to see. So you could move around and, oh, it's a bomb, and you die. That could be a good one. Sort of like Ninja Fruit. Remember, Ninja Fruit's a great game. Ninja Fruit's a great game. So imagine like Ninja Fruit, but you have to catch things with your little bird. Okay. So yeah, let's just use this thing, this falling eggs scene, and what we're going to do is we have these little balls here that we're going to use as assets for our little game, and instead of this bird like this, we're going to have a different player controller. That is not going to be this one. It's going to be just a side controller, right? It's just going to be A and D, and it's going to move there, so it's not going to need all the cool shit we added, the camera stuff, nothing like that. It's going to be quite simple. It's going to be looking one way like that. It's very, very simple game. And Ninja Bears, there's Mr. Yeah, Ninja Bear. Probably, yeah, could be Ninja Bear. We could make it a ninja. And yeah, the idea is that it's going to be falling. I don't know if Victoria will want to use a Victoria, my wife, right? She wants to use a basket or something. I don't know what she'll want to use. I'll give her ideas, you know, and she'll say, okay, what if it's a bird? What if it's a basket? What if it's a basket of fruits? Maybe, I don't know. The idea is just to catch things as they fall down, and making sure you don't catch something bad while you're like a bomb while you're at it. So yeah, that's what we want. Okay, so this will be our what should we call them? Not enemies, right? It's just let's call them no, it's the things that we've items. I have to name shit. Oh mate, I have to name something, and it's like the end of the world because we have to name something. Oh, by the way, my glasses broke and they're killing me. This thing's absolutely killing me. You see, I have to put I had to order the new ones, the new temples here, because yeah, it's just all broken in it. Yeah, so I had to put a tape there because I was actually getting cut. It got my ear. Whole thing there, it hurt so much. Wow. Yeah. So okay, stupid Ravens. I mean, I'm gonna call Raven. I'm gonna be like, oh, this expensive glasses of yours just break. So what should we call this shit? What should we call it? We'll call it the items falling item. No, egg. I said egg, so we'll call it egg. Call it an egg. Okay, we'll just call it an egg. We'll just add it here to the prefabs. Okay, we just add our little egg to the prefabs. All right, just put our egg. In fact, we'll just zero it out so that, you know, it's at 0, 0, 0, because just in case. I'll just call it egg. This is the Flappy Bird. By the way, this is the same Flappy Bird game. We have everything here, so yeah. Collectible. It could be collectible. Thank you, Nige. Yeah, it could be collectible 100%. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just leave it here for now. And what else? Well, we have our little bird. This is our player. So, but this will add here because I don't want to mix it with this one. It's going to be a mess otherwise. But we want the egg to be here probably. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. It's not a problem we need to have. So it doesn't matter really. Yeah, we're just going to add the player here. What did I do? What did I do again? There you go. It looks so funny in front. Okay. This is going to be our player. And it's going to move side to side. Right? So, yeah, let's put the camera, let's move the camera up like this. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, just a bit there, just above. There you go. And the bird's going to move there at the bottom. It's just going to be running around at the bottom. And we're going to try and catch things falling down. All right? That's what we're going to do. And yeah, we're gonna have probably like a little, we need to have a minimum and a maximum X to move around, both for our moving and for the things falling, right? So the things can't fall beyond a certain a certain X margin, right? And we can't move more than that X margin probably as well. But we'll start one thing at a time. First of all, things falling down. So we'll just set maybe a origin, some kind of origin thing. Or do we need an origin thing? What's the best way to go about this? Let's create a component. Okay, so by the way, this will be the new way to create components. Will be you just do new visual component like this, right? And you call it whatever you want. We'll call this bird player controller. I don't want to call it anything that can collide with the other bird because we have Flappy Bird here. So, you know, just want to we have this project full of shit now. Okay, we have the bird player controller, and we also need a what's going to be a egg collect logic. Okay. Yeah, let's call it that. Egg collect logic. Let's call it that. There you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here. We're going to open this too because we need to, since this is not integrated within Rogue Engine yet, we need to do a couple steps before we can use this. We're going to need to come here and do extends visual component. You will not be needing to do this when it's integrated. This is just because I have it all separated right now, right? When this is all together, in Rogue Engine, you're just going to do, well, no, this is assets, components, visual component. Yeah, there you go. So when this is done, when this actual thing is out 1.0, this is going to come in already, right? It's going to be an re.visual component. Right now, we don't have it there. So yeah, this is what it is right now. But yeah, that's how we roll right now. And the collects logic. So this is going to be just the game logic, right? We're just calling it something different. And yeah, we're just going to come here and say visual component. But yeah, we just want to call this assets components. Wasn't visual component. There you go. There you go. So that's all we need. This is going to when we save it, this is how I've set it up to be saved, you know, this path this way, so that we can use it in our project. All right. So now we're just able to click and they come up. You see the blank scripts there. This, don't worry about this. This is just, I made it wrong. The header, I didn't make the header reactive. So yeah, I forgot about that. So it takes the first one it uses and then it stays there. So, you know, you click one and you click the other, just stay with the first one. That's it. Don't worry about that. Okay. A and D. Let's do that. Bird playing controller. So what we need is basically we need we're gonna be using the rapier body, right? So we're gonna add we're gonna add a field. We're gonna say body. It's gonna be a rapier body. There you go. So we're gonna just use the rapier body here. We're going to require it. So it's just going to require the rapier body in the player. And in the update, we're going to say that get access, move, and yeah, we'll just call this move X, rename, move Y. There you go. And then we're going to say rapier move, move. There you go. So move. It's going to be the field body that we have here, and we're going to move in what direction? So we're going to have a vector 3. That is going to be just the X direction here. And the speed, well, we'll need a number. So we're just going to call it, we're just going to add a field here. We're just going to call this speed. And we're just going to inspect it so that we can see it in our player. We added, we haven't added it yet. And we're just going to say, I don't know, 10. I like the number 10, I guess. And we're just going to use the speed here. You see how it's just there, right? Use the speed thing. See? All right. So there it is. I think that should do. I think that's it. Yeah. Let's just do that. And yeah, I'll just grab our bird player controller. And there you go. Oh, what's the problem here? We have a problem. I don't know, something we did wrong. Oh, by the way, okay, this is good that this is happening now. I'm okay. So first of all, let's come in here and let's look into yeah, this thing here. We need it to be minus speed, right? Because it's apparently from where we're looking at, it's minus speed. So we could turn the camera around. Actually, we just turn the camera around, turn the bird around, and that's it. We just move. I think that will work, because honestly, I think that's all we really need. But yeah, I don't know. Let's do that. Let's flip the bird around and the camera. All right. So the camera's looking here. So let's look at the side of the light. Okay. Let's move here and let's rotate this 90 degrees. No, sorry, 180 degrees. There you go. And yeah, we'll just put this here, up here. Yeah, just there you go. And we'll just flip the bird around, also 180 degrees. And should this, there you go. That's working. Somehow we're getting some errors here for translation. So that's a good thing is happening now, because we can see what's going on. So I probably made something wrong here with the action, either with the action or with the, this is why we're doing this. This is why we're doing this. We're doing this because this can break. So we're making sure that shit doesn't break when Victoria has to use it. You know, we're making sure it all works when she's going to use it. So what is it? What is breaking? Okay. So call action. Also, okay, we have this action. The action is saying set translation. And what is it saying? That set translation is it can't read set translation. Because body is not defined. That doesn't make any sense, does it? When we're calling update, this should always be available. It should never not be available. Why is it not available at some point? It should always be available. In fact, in the other one, it was always available. So why not here? Why not here? It has a rapier body as well, which makes me think something's wrong. Let's add our what was it called? We have it here, play controller, and see what's happening here. Okay, we have a problem as well here. So we probably have some kind of condition here, race condition going on, because it's also having trouble with this thing. So in a different scene where we removed it, it started complaining about the let's come here and you look for the move. It would be the rapier move, right? So it's rapier move. So the problem it has is that body is not set yet. So it's trying to call body when it's not defined. Let's see if let's also add body return and see if it's just a race condition that at one point is not defined, just to make sure it works, right? That it's an actual okay, no, there is more problems. Oh, because this one's with rotation as well. Okay, so we're having a problem with rotation too here. Okay, so we have an actual problem. We need to make sure this is working. And okay, let's bring this here. Let's save. And okay. I know what the problem is. Thank you, Nige. Thank you, Nige. I was just going to do that. I look at the monitor there and I saw rapier config. Rapier config. You know what you're doing, Nige. You know what you're doing, Nige. And you know, I don't. I clearly don't. You know, I'm just as lost as anyone here. And yeah, we now know that I'm an idiot. All right, so we hit play now, and this thing moves and it has no problem moving. There you go. And you may be wondering, why was it moving, right? Well, because this moves the object first, and then it sets the translation to the body itself. So it's actually using the THREE.JS vector math and then copying that into Rapier, because THREE.JS has some great vector math shit there. Lots of vector math libraries. Thank you so much, Nige. Thank you so much, mate. I always forget. Is it? Yeah. I mean, it's somehow, you know, it's one thing to forget usually. Thank you so much, mate. And it would be great to have like some kind of I should probably add some kind of, you forgot. It should be something that I add in the console, like, hey, you forgot the Rapier config, you know. I should look for Rapier config, you know, and just say you don't have a Rapier config. That would make shit very simple. But no, I didn't add that, so we need to add that to the package, because if it happens so often, I mean, it just needs to be solved, right? But yeah, so now we have here a bird that moves. You know, if I hadn't forgotten about this would have been very easy, right? Just speed body, move, you know, get axis and move. How easy was that, right? That was simple, very easy. If you think this was hard at all, you let me know. I think it wasn't. Okay. Let's move this a bit here. I think it's a camera. It's a bit too far away. Let's move it about there. Yeah, there it is. It's looking good, isn't it? Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, yeah. Let's remove the sky. We don't need this. Sorry. Yeah. It's distracting. Let's just have this. There you go. There it is. And we need it to be faster. This is way too slow. We need it to be something like 30 probably. Let's look at this. Yeah. More snappy, you know, something like maybe 20, maybe 30 is a bit fast. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Down bar rain goes, make all the config added to scene if no one found the full gravity. I got this on MapGen. That could be a good idea, yeah, as well, adding it. But maybe add a warning, like just send a warning, like you should add, like this should be in your game. Like this, you should add this, something like that, you know, so that so that you make sure you add it yourself. You see that it's there in your scene. But yeah, it definitely is a good idea to do that kind of auto configuration, kind of add it either, you know, whenever it anything like a Rapier body is set up, any Rapier body is being set up, maybe say, okay, check if it exists. If it doesn't, go in and do it. Yeah, that could actually be a great idea. Yeah, it's just doing in the wake of any Rapier body, go in and check if there's a Rapier config. Yeah, that would be brilliant. Yeah. My only problem with that would be if it's I would need to have some kind of reference so that it sets it up the first time and then it doesn't go and check every time, because otherwise I think that every Rapier body is going to be looking for it every time, and that's going to add some overhead. So I don't want to add more overhead to physics initialization, you know. Looking for a component all the time, you know, it's kind of, usually you save that somewhere. So maybe I should have like a way to save that somewhere and say this is the config, and so that, and also for easy access, right? So maybe having it in some kind of static variable somewhere, and it's always going to be in that position, and every time you load the scene you should go and look for that. That would be brilliant. That would be brilliant, actually. Yeah, thanks for that. Thanks for that suggestion there, Downbar. That's brilliant. Always Downbar, the man. Downbar is brilliant, isn't it? Dear legend, Downbar. Okay, legendary Downbar. We have hemisphere lighting. We don't really need sunlight, do we? We don't need the sun. We don't need sun. It's too intense, isn't it? This is 1. Probably. There you go. So that's better, isn't it? Probably like, yeah, 1, 0.5 even, you know? I don't know. Yeah, I like that much better. There you go. And should we reintroduce the skybox for now? Because I think it's too empty otherwise. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. Just for a bit, yeah. While we don't have something in the background. There you go. Now what do we do? So we have a bird now that flies, the flaps, flies around, moves around. Yeah, let's save this again. I turned it around, so now it's giving us the back. And yeah, but I think it's probably better that way. I don't know. So we don't have to do minus speed, or we don't have to do minus speed on the other thing. So how do we actually make it easier? Well, just turn it around, flip it around. I guess, I don't know. All right. It's looking forward. We can say that it's looking forward because forward is that way, right? Forward is there. So it's looking forward. It's not looking at us. That would be looking backwards, right? So it's just looking where we are looking at. We can't complain. We really can't. This thing's cold. I forget. I get to coding and I forget to keep it going, and then it gets cold and ugly. There you go. So, okay. Now we need our little eggs to fall down. Yeah, exactly how that sounded. Exactly how that sounded. We need our little eggs to fall down. Yeah, that's what I said. That's exactly what I said. Just think about that. Let's make our little eggs fall down. And now we do field. So here we say egg prefab. And we switch just to prefab. There you go. And we're going to inspect this. And when we save, boom, we have a... Oh, we didn't... Oh, I forgot that I didn't add the thing here to call it differently. Okay, so we need to actually call this egg prefab and press enter. And then we save it. There you go. Yeah, but I need to actually make it so that, you know, I need to add the backdrop to this, but I didn't add the system for the backdrop yet because I added it for the like for everything else, but not for that, because I need to change this set index so that the backdrop is right behind this input, but not but it's behind this input and above everything else. That's what we need. You know, so that when you click outside, it just saves it. Kind of like that, you know. That's how you make it so you don't have to like click everywhere, anywhere, you know, click anywhere out. All right, so yeah, we have the prefab there, inspect. That's it. That's fine. And now we need to instantiate eggs every certain amount of time, either every certain amount of time or every yeah, probably every certain amount of time. So we need to set some kind of variable to define time, right? Some kind of seconds or something. I don't know. Call this. What we call it? What we call it? Interval. Let's call it that, interval. Interval is to how many seconds? Let's call one egg every sort of, well, we need a minimum and a maximum interval probably, right? So that it's not, should we make it like variable, right? So it's minimum and maximum interval. So we say min interval, maximum interval, something like that, right? So we say 1 here, right? Say for instance, and so say max interval. We got another one for min interval, and make it a number. I say this is 0.5, and we inspect both anyway. There you go. And we save. There you go. There you go. Oh, how Capture in the house. How's it going, mate? That's why car have bigger window shields and mirrors. Yeah. That's a good analogy. Eggs. Why not chicken? Could be chickens. It could be lots of things. But we made them eggs because we have little balls there, like white balls. I keep saying I have white balls falling down, and you know, it's just, you know, it's just something you say, you know, it's just something you say, but you don't unsay it. And people have, you know, people make a picture in their minds, you know, say, let's make our little white balls fall. And they're like eggs. So you can say, let's make our little white eggs fall down. And yeah, just, you know, you bunch of perverts. I know what you're thinking. Okay, so we need a minimum x and a maximum x, like a, you know, somewhere to drop them. But for now, let's just define height. So where they are actually falling from. So we can define height. Origin, let's call it origin height, right? We could actually make it, yeah, no. So I was thinking of making this a vector 3, but no, because we need an origin height, and then we need a minimum maximum x. So and a vector 3 wouldn't make any sense there. So no, it's just origin height. Just call it a number. We inspect it, and this is going to be something like how much is this? Maybe like I don't know. It doesn't really matter, does it? Let's just make it something like, no, it's not this, it's this one. Okay, something like 20. Okay, let's make it 20. It doesn't matter as long as it's outside of the camera range, camera frame. It's fine. We'll stretch the camera. We'll narrow down the camera frame. It's gonna be, I think, kind of like the other game, like the car game that we made. I think it's gonna be kind of like that. By the way, if you didn't see the car game, you just go and look for. I'm gonna give you the link later, but it's you go to play.rogueengine.io/beardscript/ what's it called, endless dash highway, and you can play there, or you can look for the link in the Discord. You know, we have a link there in the live stream chat, and you can leave your live score, leave there your high score. I've changed it a bunch of times, so you can see that now that it's a bit different than it used to be. we've changed it here in this live stream. We built it here completely in this live stream, so that's cool. And we're gonna rebuild it, all of it, with this no-code system. So that's gonna be cool, isn't it? All right, so we have the origin height 20, about there, innit? What else are we gonna do here? Okay, so now we need to actually fall down when we are around these two time frames, I guess. So it's just gonna choose random between these two. All right, so we can create an action for a random interval. That's a new action we can have, like random interval. And yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. Let's do that. Let's do it simple for now. Let's keep it simple. And let's just create another one. Yeah, let's do another one to call it current interval. So this is not going to be inspected. It's just going to be a simple field. We call it let's call it timer. Current interval. Just current interval. Oh, here we save the current interval, so it's 0. And we're going to keep adding delta time so that when we reach the maximum interval, right now we're just going to use the maximum. And we're going to say if we fall or not. We could actually test every frame and say, when we reach the minimum, like make a bet, like sort of, okay, do we do it now or not? You know, and sort of see if it does it or not. So we can set like a leave it to chance if we actually go with 0.5 or 1. You know, we could do it easily, I think, kind of easily, but it would be much better to have a random interval and decide on an interval. And yeah, but if it's greater or equal than the maximum interval, it's always going to be falling down. So that's the first thing we need to do. So yeah, let's do that first. So we're going to say that if not have a true here? Did something change? As far as I knew, if should always have a true here inside. Something's wrong there. Yeah, it should be initialized like this. So I don't know, but yeah, basically what we need to do is we need to say that we're going to use this expression, right? You see, how you can just use true or false like that, right? Just any value or any field that you have, but in this case we're going to use an expression here, and we're going to say that we can search for it. If current interval is greater equal, this is a bit hard to use in it right now. Oh, I fucked that up, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Just do that. So we're just gonna add this one first. Yeah, okay, when I changed the I redid the search, and when I redid the search I kind of fucked up the this thing where it doesn't let me add another operator after one operator. But I have the greater equal here. Yeah, I have greater equal there. There you go. Let's remove that. So greater equal, add after max interval. There you go. Yeah, I really need to do this so that it keeps the selection, and I can just do like Control A or something like that, and it keeps adding one after Control B at before. I think the shortcuts will actually make this so much better experience. Without shortcuts, having to do add, after, edit, all that, it's just a nightmare. So kind of a pain in the arse. I guess for a coder, right? For someone who doesn't code, it's simple. For someone who's never coded, I think it's a pain in the ass. Well, for someone who's never coded, it may be simple, but for someone who codes all the time, it may be a pain in the arse. That's the actual thing. I don't know if I said it that way or the other way around, so now I said it correctly. And let's see, what else? Yeah, and now we need to make them full. So we say, if that happens, we say instantiate. We instantiate our egg prefab. Yeah, just directly in the scene. We just instantiate in the scene. And yeah, I was just gonna do that. What else? Yeah, else. So we're gonna add an else. So otherwise, what do? We set field. We're gonna set our what's it called? The current interval to a mathematical expression, which is going to be simple current interval plus what is it? Delta time. Right, I added this too because I don't know which one. I have just delta time like this or renderer delta time. I think this is better, but I don't know. I like having like things classified. But yeah, it's the same shit. It's just two different actions that do exactly the same. It's just written, it's just named differently. One has the renderer delta time. It's just classified for the renderer, and the other one isn't. But yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the renderer really, because the renderer doesn't really have a delta time. So that's my confusion, kind of. Okay, so I have set field current interval plus. So this is just what we're doing really, just adding delta time to the current interval. Oh, one thing we need to do if this happens, we do after. Well, we could say add before. So we just first thing we do is we reset the current interval, right? So we need to do set field, we say current interval. We need to set it to 0, right? So that's what we do. Yeah. So we add to our interval until current interval is greater or equal to max interval, and we instantiate, we reset it, and we instantiate our little instance here, and that's all we're really going to do. Yeah. And we need to set our little egg thing here, right? Just gonna set it here. There you go. It's our egg prefab. Save the scene. Let's just see what happens. Oh, it's been instantiated in 000, right? Yeah, so they're being instantiated. It's happening, right? They're being instantiated. Yeah, there you go. You have another one, another one, another one. There you go. But we need to instantiate them at the specific height. Okay, that's a good thing to keep in mind. Sorry, let's come here. So we need to we instantiate it. No, here, this one. We instantiate it, and now let's do add after set. Do we have a rapier set position? We need a rapier set position probably. Yeah, we don't have a set position that takes the yeah, we don't have a set position for rapier. So we need to do that because we have a move. Because for rapier, what we have is move, velocity, look at direction, apply impulse. But we need yeah, we need a move. It just moves it, right? It just starts moving it, and it uses the delta time. We don't need that. What we need is set position. So yeah, we're gonna need to do something about that. Let's do a set position for rapier, okay? Okay, let's come here. Let's go to rapier. We have move. Let's do set position. Because if we just use the set position that we have for Object 3D, it's not going to work because it's not going to move the body itself. So the rapier is going to come back and say, no, we're actually here. So we're going to move it somewhere, and it's going to say, no, we're here. So yeah, we need to change that. So we're just going to move it we're just going to set the position, set the new position. We're going to say where we want it to go. See how we just copy pasted that, right? So that's a problem if we don't change it. So let's change the speed. Let's remember the speed. We don't need no speed. We don't need a new direction. What we need is a new position. Yeah, we need a new position, and we need a what else do we need? Yeah, the rapid body component. That's good. And we need to do what? We need to set it to the new position. Yeah. Why are we doing this again? Oh, we would. Yeah, it was just something I was doing before. We don't need that. Okay. We don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need any of that. All we need is this thing here. No, not this. No normalize. No scale vector or anything. We actually just need to do this. Position. I think, yeah. This should just move it wherever we need to. There you go. So we set a new position, and it's just going to move it there. I think that alone should do it. Yeah. Let's just change the description so that we don't forget to. I'm going to set all the description later anyway, so it doesn't matter. I'm going to sit down and actually do all of the stupid descriptions, all of them. So, yeah. Yeah, so now we're going to come here and say, what was this? Set position. There you go, right? So have set, yeah, it's there now, right? And now we come here and say, we don't have the body here. Component. Okay, that's weird. If we use the add the move, do we have a problem here? Oh no, this is the object 3D move. Oh, I didn't add the oh right, yeah, okay. We don't have that here, yeah. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to get the rapier body from this object, and we could have a set object position. Assume that it has a body, like, because here we would need to do get component and get the rapier body for it, like this, right? We should do here. Yeah, we don't have a get component yet. We should have a get component here, definitely, so that we can do, you know, get component, get the component like rapier body for this instance. And let's add that. It's just that, you know, we can add that easily. So we do. Let's come up here. Yeah, where I have like all the different test things, like all the general things. I've been adding all this shit around here. You know, it's just I'm gonna decide later what stays what goes. Like the container object is probably gonna go. Get active camera, change for active camera, I think, or render a camera. So, you know, many of these I'm just gonna remove. This is just adding shit. But yeah, we're just gonna need a get component, right? So I don't really know how I'm gonna call it. Like if I'm going to have it as a general thing, like a, you know, just a. It's not gonna be a renderer thing. It's probably just going to be a get component, like that. It's not going to be like a component thing, you know. It's not going to be like component. No, it's just get component. Very simple. And say it's going to be object. Well, it's going to return component. And it's going to be value type is going to be any, because we don't know what the thing is going to be. I'm just going to say component. And what we know is that the parameters are going to be is the object itself that we want to get the component from, and the component, the actual component. So that the type of component that we want. So we're going to say we can do inference, but I'm going to do it later because inference is actually kind of hard to set up. Maybe for the next live stream, we'll do the inference for this one so that you see how I set it up. That may be cool. So okay, so this is going to be an object 3D. It's going to be our object that we want to get the name. Say object. And the next one is going to be our type component. And it's going to be the actual component that we want it to be, right? Okay, so that's what we're going to see there. And we're just going to do, what do we do here? We say, because what we're going to get here is, no, yeah, we're not going to get a component there. We're going to need to set the type. So do we have an actual type system for it? Do we have something that we can set the type for? I'm not sure. So we're probably just going to need something new here. Okay, I'm gonna look into this because yeah, we don't have much time. I mean, I have to leave before. Yeah, I should have left 20 minutes ago, but we're gonna keep going because why not? I mean, we have like 3 people and I don't give a shit anymore. So I'm going to come down here where the rapier is. Move. Yeah. There you go. We have the set position here. And we're going to do is simply this, right? Set object position. We're going to call this set object position, right? And this is simply going to get, instead of a rapier body, it's going to get an object 3D, and it's going to get the rapier body from it. It's going to save us a lot of time anyway. I was going to add this anyway, so it makes sense to do it now. I'm going to add the other, I'm going to see if I can do the other one, and then we'll add it together in the next live stream so you can see it. But yeah, this is one thing that I need to make sure works. We can do it, right? Sorry. Nylash, my glasses, that's going to be stabbing my eye anytime soon. So we're going to call it objects. Yeah, no, not that, not objects. There it is. This is going to be the object 3D. This is going to be a object 3D. And this is the position we want to set it to. There you go. And yeah, so we're going to say const body equals rapier body dot get from object 3D. Right, that's as simple as that. That's it. There it is. So there we have it. There we have it. Now we can simply add get, well, rapier. What do we call it? Set object position. Set object position. There you go. Right. So we can just add this, and now we just get the instance that we have and the position. Right. It's going to be a vector 3, and we're going to get this to be the origin height. There it is. So we made it quite simple, right? We didn't want to complicate ourselves. Just get the object 3, the rapier body for it. We can get the rapier body for it. I'm gonna make sure we can do that. So yeah, I'm gonna need to have like a system like this, right, where I can select the types. I think we just need to set the options. for it. Yeah, I think it's just setting the options. I think that's all we need, and we just need to tell it which options. That's it. But I'm gonna make sure that we can do that. Yeah, because it's basically the same as this, and the same that we have in. I know I did this here in get call method. Like component call method. This lets you call a component in any method that even if it doesn't have any sort of action or anything, you can, and it gives you, tell me the component. This gets the component names, but I could actually just get the component types that are in the scene. The same way I've got this. So that should be simple enough. But yeah, let's just make it simple for ourselves right now because I don't have much time. And okay, this is not working. Why is it not working? Okay, something's wrong there. Set translation. Why? Doesn't it doesn't have a yeah, it has a buzzy. Gravity scale. Let's do 1 gravity scale so that it falls down. And this should have no problem moving. Come on. Come on. See, they just fall down. What's going on there? Come on. What are you talking about here? What's the problem? Come on. What's your problem here? Yeah, there you go. I'm just logging a bunch of shit. Yeah. As you can see, I'm testing stuff. And yeah, that happens. Okay, so it says the set translation is can't be read, which doesn't make sense because it's moving. So why can't you read it if you can move? Doesn't make any sense. Why would you be able to move? Probably because in the next frame. Yeah. Yeah, probably because of that. Probably because it needs to get it in the next frame. That doesn't make any sense either. Because the component should be available as soon as it's there. I don't know. All right, but that's all we need really. We're gonna complete it next time because I really have to go. And I need to go to the bathroom. I need to go to the toilet. So going to the toilet and finishing the live stream. I don't know if you can see, but I really need to pee. But yeah, so instead of going out and then coming back and finishing the live stream, I'm just gonna finish it now because anyway, how many people do we have here? We have like, oh no, we have a bunch of people. We have like 5 people. Oh my god. Yeah, nobody's talking, so I don't know. There's nobody chats. I don't know how many people there are, really. But we're gonna finish it next time. We need to we need to make sure. Oh my god, I really need to go. We need to make sure that we can get the object, like the rapier body here. Something's wrong here from this thing we made. We're probably going to we're going to solve it, no problem, next time. And yeah, this is a great exercise. This is why I love doing this sort of exercises. This is part of the things that I'm doing every day to make sure that this thing works. And yeah, and and why we needed to actually do this before I give it to my wife and say, hey, let's just make a game. You know, we actually need something that works for her because yeah, she doesn't even know how to code. If you give her something that, you know, I don't even know how to start doing it. But yeah, after this, after setting the position, like the height position in the X, we're gonna set like some kind of random position with the min X, max X, something like that, and that should be most of the logic around this. Then we can have some kind of point system, and then we'll need the menus. Not much else really. Well, we need to instantiate the player probably with the menus, you know, so move the menus around and instantiate the player when the game starts, things like that. So we need the game state. So that's most of the stuff we're going to need. Yeah, yeah, we're just gonna make the game and make sure then later that yeah, so that my wife is able to kind of make it. All right, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being so kind. And oh, Missy here on YouTube, it's already a good progress today, mate. Yeah, thank you so much, mate. Yeah, we made some nice progress. I think we didn't finish it, but we're gonna definitely finish it next live stream. I mean, we didn't spend much time doing it. We spent a lot of time doing a bunch of shit that wasn't the game itself. But I think we're gonna finish it next live stream very easily. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being there. Misile, Kapchika, Damba, Ren, Nige, everyone around here. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for being here. And, you know, making this live stream worth it, really, because being here and doing this with nobody there is a pain in the arse. So thank you so much. And yeah, we'll see you next time. As always, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. GMT. You'll have me here. Around 7 p.m. right, between 7:30, around there. So just be around there at the clock, and yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye bye. Thank you so much.